This does have Phillips hardware. That might be considered a down, but at $100, nah, don't complain. This is $100, so that's good enough. So what I meant by that was I wasn't going to get this part wet. Alright, 50%, because that's all we can handle. Like I said, you can just press the button through the body. Yeah. Beep beep. Steering trim slightly off, but that's because I was using the other remote. Oh! The wing is a reverse shovel. So. Ooh. Now, I don't want to totally kill the battery, but we do want to get it warmed up. All right. And we've got, it says 12 satellites, but I guess that's true. Okay. So we're going to track, start. So 70% throttle. See what we got for max speed. It's pretty straight. Range is really good. For what this is, man, this is all you need. So that is max speed. Blazing fast. Bring it in, see what we got. All right. 16.9 miles an hour. That's what we had. So stop, read, 20 something. 19 miles an hour. We're going to go ahead and switch it up to 100%. Back it off. Start. Way different. All right, hear nothing, see nothing. Here we go. This will be a perfect little indoor basher. Bring it to an airport. Cause some problems. Don't bring it to an airport. We adjust the trim just a little bit. Yeah, skate park, this thing will probably be meant. Light bashing at a skate park. Alright, stop, read, max speed, we got 24 miles an hour. I do have a 3S pack, but we're not going to try that right now. We're going to see what this thing can do for jumping. So there you go, 24 miles an hour. Max speed on 2S. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and that's going to pop. The body looks pretty slick. So that body looks pretty cool. So I'm just going to pop off my GPS here. So I'll be back. Grass is wicked, wicked tall. It burns it up right through the grass. Oh, right to me. This is on 2S. It's a little stinking ripper on 2S. Getting all nastified. Right into the little burn circle here. Oh, what a nose plant. Do have some air control. Ah. Low cut already? Yeah. Low cut already. Well, that wasn't much run time. It's, what the heck's going on here? How is that low cut already? Maybe it's over temp. I could believe over temp more than anything else. Old fan's still going. It's actually starting to sprinkle. We've got a blinking light on the ESC. Can't really feel the motor. I think the motor's fine. Got a blinking light on the ESC. Could be low battery. Alright, good enough. So out here in the backyard track, this thing is going to get pretty nasty, but not much debris really got inside. So even though the body with its even though the body, could see them all there right there, even though the body with the massive giant cutouts, sun's kind of trying to come out, with the massive giant cutouts, debris really didn't get in there that much. Cleaning this thing is going to be an absolute nightmare if you drive it on wet clay kind of stuff like what I'm driving it on right now. So this little RC car is fun. All of the RC cars that are kind of like similar to this in this range, they're all going to be about the same. They're all going to be about the same speed too. So can it take 3S? Nah, you know what? Don't. It's not worth it. 2S is where it's at with this thing. This thing right now is only $100 on Amazon. There will be a link in the description if that's what you want to do. I'm not telling you to go buy it, but it seems like it's a pretty good price. It's only $100. It's only $100 for this little thing. And knowing how like the plastics are, I'll show you what I'm talking about here. See if I can do this again with the body here. With its, the plastics. Say like talking about the MJX, right? The MJX plastics were way more, how how do you say, too flexible. Like these towers are nice and flexible, but the shock towers are more rigid. So this little car has a little bit of an over on the MJX 10 scale. The MJX 10 scale was a stinking wet noodle. This thing, oh my God, this thing is, I gotta wash this off now. I'm gonna wash it off with water too, dude. So that's how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna wash it down like this. I'm not gonna get any water purposely on the electronics. Might be water resistant, but I'm not gonna chance. So just kind of do a little spray down like this. Not go crazy on the electronic area. Have it upside down. That way, it's really not getting into it, you know what I'm saying? Whoops, except when you do that. So, get in there, get in there, get in there, get in there. Gonna have to totally flush this thing down. So that's good enough. So what I meant by that was I wasn't gonna get this part wet. This basically just got splashed wet, which is, I think, acceptable for this kind of RC. Now the next thing to do is, it's got all metal bearings and all that stuff, but dry this thing off. So I'm gonna get the most amount of water off that I can, and then blow it off with that Cow RC blower thing that I've got. And that should help. There we go. So there you go. The little Ripper. These things are fun, dude. Sorry. They might not be for everybody, but these things are pretty fun. Oil-filled shocks that are adjustable with aluminum pieces parts. Obviously, it's not a aluminum body, but it does have an aluminum adjusting collar, aluminum top cap, aluminum bottom cap, and they are oil-filled and they work. As far as washing it off, like I said, best thing to do is how I did it, and now I'm just going to go ahead and spray it down. And I'm going to take some of that Cow RC stuff and give it a light little spray after all the water's gone, so that these metal pins and these hinge pins and all these metal parts that are on here don't rust. This does have Phillips hardware. That might be considered a down, but at $100, nah, don't complain. This is $100. This is pretty cheap for a brushless, ready to run. All you got to do is add 2 batteries, 2 AA's to the remote, and charge this thing up and rip. 2 batteries, brushless, beefy, all-metal drivetrain, gigantic CVDs, both front and rear. Like I said, all-metal drive shaft and gears and drivetrain, and flexible plastics where they need to be, and more rigid plastics where they need to be, which is nice. It does have a wheelie bar. It's got a wing. You don't have to run the wheelie bar. Choosing to, because, well, it just kind of gives added protection. Foam tires. You should cap off the inserts or the inside hole and vent the tire themselves, because you're going to end up with sand and debris getting in there. But this thing right here, this is a very wise investment. This is a jet blaster. It's a high performance air blaster from, you know it, Cow RC. Cleaning and maintenance is one of the most important things if you want to have what they call longevity in one of these types of RCs, as well as with the larger scale. So this stick tape really is not holding on that very well. So putting a zip tie on this is definitely going to kind of keep that that stick tape down. But I'm going to go ahead and see how it's even offset. I'm going to replace this stick tape with a new piece of stick tape. We'll re-stick it down. We'll clean everything. Re-stick it back down on here, which is probably supposed to be exactly right there. So, yeah, I don't know. How should this go? Now, you know what? It was offset. So it looks like they had a little offset. That way you could still access that screw. Still going to need a zip tie on there. But dry these things and then spray it with some type of a silicone. Like I said, I've got the stuff from SKYRC RC. We'll get that stuff in there, and it'll keep everything nice and prepped and ready to go. I did adjust the rear springs just to give it a little bit more strength in the rear. As far as how this thing drops, it drops, I think, fairly well. If you're just driving this how this thing should, you're not going for 50-foot jumps or anything like that. Average just 2-3 foot jumps maybe at max. Maybe 1 foot jumps. Skate park 70%. Carve it around 100%. It turns into a little rocket ship. Like I said, the front light's pretty cool. And so far the thing survived. Granted, it was only 1 battery pack, but like I said before, I'm so familiar with these things. You start to get a sense of how plastics should flex in certain areas. And this RC at least has, it's got the flexible parts in the right locations. Like, see what I'm saying? See how flexible that is, but how not necessarily flexible that is. See what I'm saying? Fairly important. They put the flex where it should be. You got the flex in the arms. There is flex, but it's also not too much. This thing is at least not a wet noodle. So this is definitely not a wet noodle RC.